All-time favourite football movie?
Ooh, football movie.
Do I not like that?
Do I not like that?
That's a football movie.
Hey, I'm going Jimmy Grimble. Remember that?
Jerry?
Escape to Victory.
Oh.
Okay.
Recognise any of those films that they just mentioned? Probably not, right? Even the hosts weren't sure what films each other were talking about. If I asked you to name a soccer film, you could probably do one at the max. How can the sport of soccer be full of incredibly dramatic moments, yet no one has successfully adapted them to the big screen? The sports genre is full of classic ballads of underdogs, succession and achievement, with each sport having a classic to hold on to. Boxing as Rocky, basketball as Who's You, as American football as Any Given Sunday, and even pool's got 2 classics under its belt. But one sport has always fallen short to make consistent quality motion picture the biggest sport in the world, the beautiful game, football. But why? America. It's been top dog when it comes to motion picture since its creation.
He's looking at you, kid.
And generally runs the show when it comes to the Western film industry.
I drink your milkshake.
They also famously have a disdain for football.
Come on, you schnorrers! Do something!
So this isn't a great combination when attempting to pitch a football feature. Historically, America looks very inward on creating their sports stories, and so far it's been working out for them, with 9 out of 10 of the highest grossing sports films of all time being about American sports. According to Statista's Global Consumer Survey, 2 of these sports have a largely established American audience, for which producers can exploit, with over half of American sports fans consuming basketball and nearly 3/4 consuming American football. So there's a clear reason on why these are immensely successful and why they're given the go-ahead to be made. So then it can be assumed that the reason why soccer films aren't successful or produced by Americans is because they have no largely established audience, right? But boxing is a sport only consumed by less than 1/4 of Americans, only a little bit more than football, yet it features nearly half of the highest grossing sports films. This is most likely due to America's love for Rocky Balboa. And golf, MMA, tennis and motorsports are all watched less by American audiences than soccer, yet they all have a classic associated with them. So clearly, a widely established American audience isn't the problem. Global audiences outside of America can understand and enjoy a sport they don't consume. So why not the other way around with football? It's the most popular sport in the world, with nearly 20% of the world watching the Qatar World Cup final.
Not all the World Cup added up. One game, 1.5 billion viewers.
So surely someone has attempted to exploit this gap in the market. Other than some indie hits that have gathered large critical success, such as Bend It Like Beckham, The Damned United and Fever Pitch, there have only been a handful of big budget football films. The top 3 highest grossing are Bend It Like Beckham, She's the Man and Kicking and Screaming, none of which come close to the critical praise of the most successful American sports films. Minimal successes like these lead producers to avoiding adapting the sport entirely. In 2004, Adidas had to contribute $50 million to the production and marketing of Disney's Goal, due to producers' reluctance. And they were proven right, as it was a commercial and critical failure. So clearly, Americans have no incentives to make football films, because they have no established American audience, and maybe more importantly, when the risk is taken, it bombs. So why do the ones that are produced fail, even if there's a clearly established audience? John Horton stated in his article, "Why is there no great Hollywood soccer movie?" for the LA Times. Football, baseball and basketball are episodic sports with countless pauses to discuss strategy and set plays, but soccer is an uninterrupted 90-minute slog. Actors can't effectively fake play in the game, moviegoers would rather watch the real thing. American football and basketball have quarters and times out. Ice hockey has 3 periods of play, motor racing has pit stops, boxing has rounds, but football is 2 non-stop halves of 45-minute play. Hard to fit a lot of dialogue in there to push the story. It all has to be done with action, and even then, the action looks a bit dull. Dialogue is such an essential point for drama and sports films, as well as generally.
Who's the goddamn manager? I am!
The breaks in play allow for emotion and tension to be expressed,
I don't want them to gain another yard.
to develop the characters,
I gotta prove it.
and make you root for a winning point. It gives an opportunity for the coach and or captain to give a rousing speech so that the quarterback can make the perfect pass, the point guard can get a buzzer beater, or a batsman can get a home run. In football, these types of conversations are reserved for half-time, the sidelines or free kicks, and even then, they're minimal. The dialogue throughout the game is given mostly to the commentators, who act as narrators to the story, separating us, the audience, further from the characters, as this is the dialogue we mostly get from the players.
Hey, pass me the ball! Pass me the ball! Please, on the ball! Pass me the ball, please!
Then there's the coach, who in other sports can intercept at crucial points to give guidance or drastically change the tactics, leading to a last-minute victory for the protagonists. Football managers, on the other hand, are one of two extremes: silent or screaming on the sideline, both of which can't be dramatically engaging for a prolonged period. In Ted Lasso, the title lead is usually celebrating, saying a joke, or focusing on a beeper on the sideline. Most of his impact comes off the pitch. Additionally, because football is so fast paced, no one has the time to talk and strategise when the ball is out of play, or they'll get penalised for time wasting. This leads to games being shortened. Shows like Ted Lasso caught onto this from the very start, with the actual matches seemingly lasting a matter of minutes before returning back to the characters, purely because no one can work out where to slip the dialogue in. And then there's the action. Unfortunately, actors just can't convincingly imitate footballers' feats and shots. Every soccer film will have a close-up shot of the striker in which they take a shot and then cut as soon as they make a connection to another angle of the goal, losing all its momentum and prowess. It becomes harder to suspend your disbelief when the characters are supposed to be playing at the highest level of football. The best scripted football game put to screen is the Night Gwynna Stays On advert from 2013. Best advert ever made, by the way. And the main reason it's so good is because it features professional players as opposed to actors. This paired with clear camera work that shows the audience them actually kicking the ball, as well as illustrating where they are on the pitch, makes for a great watch. Additionally, they managed to fit small amounts of dialogue in without slowing the pace of the video, yet the reason why it's so engaging is because of its short form. Scoring a point in any sports film is a dramatic moment that happens throughout, but because football rarely sees more than 3 goals a game, filmmakers have to shorten the length of the game to keep this intensity. Within this amount of time, it's easy to keep the intensity and pace of a football match, as the ball is going from box to box for 3 minutes. Ted Lasso also caught onto this by casting real footballers to be part of AFC Richmond and keeping the games in the short form, yet the actual players are thrown off camera or in the background, apart from Footballer's Life guy, and the actors are left with imitating a Premier League footballer, and on the pitch it's not that convincing. It makes you think, why are producers focusing on the highest level of football when it's so hard to imitate? Okay, so you've convinced Hollywood producers to invest in a football film in which somehow you fix the dialogue and action problems. What else is there to change? The level of football in which the film is taking place. It's no coincidence that the goal saga declined in critical success as Santiago got higher up the skill pole. In the beginning, he's an underdog given a chance for, at the time, a mid-table Premier League club in Newcastle. It garners some relatability and risk, similar to Rocky. The first in the trilogy didn't garner much critical success, but when Santiago and his teammates moved to Real Madrid and then are selected for the World Cup squad, it loses all relatability and therefore quality. Other football films follow this trend as well by focusing on a team that is in the top flight of European football. Yet the most successful American football, basketball and ice hockey films are set at the amateur level. Remember the Titans, high school football, Coach Carter, high school basketball, the Mighty Ducks, lower pee-wee hockey team. No one cares about the millionaire scoring for his club. They care about the wide receiver fighting for his scholarship, a coach trying to keep his team away from gang violence, or the failed coach's protege winning the league. These stories about the odds being against them, dismissing prejudice and finding a way out. They all have elements that are essential to story. Theme and character development. The end goal isn't just to win the game, it's what winning the game thematically means. From the football films that I have watched, only 2 seem to get close to this level that the Americans have made the standard. One is the Dams United that is set behind the scenes of a major club similar to Moneyball, but the other, which I'll focus more on, is a little known World War II POW film directed by John Huston called Escape to Victory, or Victory to our American cousins. It features big names like Sylvester Stallone, Michael Caine and Max von Sydow, as well as some performances from Pele and Bobby Moore. Yes, those Pelés and Bobby Moores. The film follows a group of allied POWs who agree to play a game of football against the Nazis, only to use it as a means of escape. What makes the football in it so great is the fact that, other than Sly and Kane, all the players on the team were professional football players, who unlike Ted Lasso were crucial characters in the story. They consisted of an aforementioned Bobby Moore and Pele, as well as the Ipswich Town Football Club, who had just won the FA Cup in 1978 and had narrowly missed out on the League Cup. The studio then brought in acclaimed Oscar-winning director John Huston to control the reins. He manages to portray a realistic football match, something that many haven't achieved. But according to Osman, one of the Ipswich players, there was a dispute on how the match would be filmed. It ended up with Bobby Moore, Mike Summerby, Pele and Werner Roth sitting down with John Huston and saying something similar to, "We'll tell you what to do and how to do it. You make sure you've got the camera on."
After giving me ball, here I do these, go. Easy.
And this is why the football looks so believable in the film, because similar to the Nike ad I mentioned before, they have real footballers playing football with clear camera work. This leads to wide shots of entertaining football action, be that rainbow flicks over Nazis, game-deciding bicycle kicks, or necessary Brexit tackles, all without cutting. It has all the elements to create a great football film: American backing, great action, as most of the football is left to the professionals, and good character development and story. It does get limited by the dialogue issue within the action, but it's the best one so far by a mile. So, if you're looking at how to successfully make a football film, I have no idea. I've just highlighted the obstacles and problems. But hey, Taika Waititi is releasing his new film Next Goal Wins soon, about the American Samoa team that's only objective is to score one international goal. It has elements that are key to making a good football film: American backing with a competent director, Waititi's dialogue and a focus on an underdog. So maybe he's cracked the code, and also the rising interest in football in America might do something for investments, with the World Cup being there and Messi just signing for Inter Miami, so I'm hopeful. Anyway, I'm in between jobs, and this is what I did instead of applying for one. Thank you for watching.
You use that bloody American style again here and you'll be barred.
Look, you play English, I play American.